Report. Earth ship Ark. Thermonuclear reactors.
12 reactors, 6 primary, 6 secondary. Reactor 11 mounted port side after section. Central control sector non-operative.
On this episode of Old Joe's Reminiscence, the alien Oro returns, intending to repair the propulsion system. Will he put the Ark back on its original course? This episode's special guest stars are Henry Beckman and Walter Koenig. This episode of The Starlost originally aired on December 15th, 1973. I might have watched this one just because Walter was in it, so this one may just bring back some memories. But then, who knows? Spoilers abound as we get a revisit from the alien from Exar with the return of Oro. After a long view of a tunnel, we open the episode with a gloved hand pushing buttons on one of those access thingies.
Warning. Warning. All access to master control prohibited.
Oddly, a female voice, not William Osler, announces a warning saying,
All access to master control prohibited.
Prohibited? Not to me, it ain't.
As that man's about to take a screwdriver to the iris, Devon comes around a corner.
To cease and desist all efforts.
Who are you?
Are
What do you think you're doing?
I had to chuckle when the man countered with,
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm building a boat!
You are
you set off the alarm! Oh, you noticed, did you?
That funny man is our guest star, Henry Beckman, and with his hundreds of appearances, I'm sure that if you've watched any television at all between the 60s and the 90s, we must have seen him in something.
Henry Beckman was born on November 26, 1921 in Halifax, Nova Scotia. He falsified his date of birth to enter military service, and he was among the Canadian forces that stormed the beaches of Normandy during World War II. He started making television appearances in 1950. He had a run of 21 episodes as Mulligan on I'm Dickens, He's Fenster. Although he is mostly known for his work on such television shows as Peyton Place, where he played George Anderson on 34 episodes, he also appeared in films such as Breakfast at Tiffany's. He did a stint of 14 episodes as Colonel Harrigan on McHale's Navy. He was Captain Clancy on 34 episodes of Here Come the Brides. He moved his family to Washington State after being enamored with the Seattle wilderness where that series was filmed. He was Harry Mark on 25 episodes of the TV series Bronx in the mid-1970s. He played Alf Scully in 22 episodes of the mid-80s Don Adams series Check It Out. He remained active in the industry until 2002. He spent his remaining years in warm climates, and Henry Beckman died on June 17, 2008 in Barcelona.
Maybe that guy has the skills to fix things and get the Ark going again, even if he does seem a bit crazed.
Final warning. Gold security sensors will be activated.
What's going on?
The alarm. He set it off.
Is he dead?
He's unconscious.
Where are you going?
Spare projector. Maybe the host can tell us what's going on.
Sure, I mean it's typically a waste of time, but I guess it's worth a try.
Can I be of assistance?
We've got an injured man. Security sensors knocked him out. What can we do to help him?
Security sensors have temporary debilitating effect.
After he's told that the man will revive in due course, Devon cops an attitude and he asks the host,
What authority ordered that man to be knocked out?
Arc command authority exercised via master control.
Put me through. I want to talk to anyone who's in there.
Please stand by for security clearance.
I didn't think there was anyone left to respond. Last we knew, all of the security personnel's descendants were mutated creatures living in a cryogenic center. Meanwhile, Garth picks up something that looks like a weapon of some kind.
Wonder what this is.
The sphere projector just told me that someone in there has assumed command.
You mean command of the Ark? That means our collision course could be altered.
Maybe.
Well, if they've taken over the Ark, they must know what they're doing.
This is Devon. I'm waiting for gold security clearance.
Master Control, gold security clearance granted.
When he gets inside, a robot is giving orders to the computer.
Increase recycle power by 117 amperes.
Power increased 117 amperes. Prediction normal seasonal decrease 5.0 plus or minus 0.1.
My first thought was, why is there a conversation? I mean, computers can communicate via various analog and digital means, and voice is the least efficient of any of them. I can transfer the data of an entire book in less time than it's taking me to read this paragraph out loud. The robot is Vice Admiral Tau Zeta, voiced by Canadian voiceover artist turned actress Patricia Moffat. Inside that robot's body is Philip Stevens. The other computer voices are provided by James Barron, who you'll remember played Garth's father in a few episodes. The robot sneers,
So you're Devon.
I'm curious. Does she, or rather it, know of Devon from his prior encounter with the computer Magnus? Or merely because the host computer requested Devon's clearance? Tau Zeta says that the man they've zapped is named Williams. When Devon asks,
Who is this new commander?
I was a bit stumped. I think a line of dialogue may have been cut somewhere, unless I missed something, because I hadn't heard the host refer to a new commander other than to call for Tau Zeta to clear Devon. The producers seem to like the effect of distorting video to maintain suspense.
Devon, my friend.
You know that voice?
Of course you do. It hasn't been so very long since our last meeting.
Oro.
And once they clear up the video, we see that it's Oro, played by special guest star Walter Koenig. Meanwhile, Williams is beginning to come to. When Garth introduces himself and Rachel, I laughed out loud at the man's response.
My name is Garth. This is Rachel.
Terrific. Who cares?
Back in the Master Control Center, angry Devon wants to know why Oro came back.
Devon, I had hoped you'd be happy to see me again. For myself, of course, I'm delighted to renew old friendships. I do consider myself your friend, Devon. And in a short while, I'll prove it to you.
Oro, you haven't answered my question. Why did you come back?
Patience, Devon. Sporecraft on final approach.
Oro!
I'd think he'd be glad to see Oro. That alien might be able to get them back on course. I tend to agree with Tau Zeta as she explains.
Really, Devon, we've been without a commander for over 400 years. Now we've got one. Everyone ought to be happy.
Devon heads off to meet his friend. Meanwhile, Williams is going crazy, trying to get into Master Control again. Garth is holding him back as the iris opens and calm and collected Devon comes strolling out.
Get away from there. Hey! Get away from that computer. Come on. Let me! I gotta get in there! Get your grubby lunch hooks off of me! I'll tear that iris door apart if I have to do it with my teeth! Get off!
What are you doing?
I did it. Let me go. Oh, let me go. Ah, it's all closed again. I was practically inside. What's the matter with you people?
What's the matter with you? You know, you're acting like a wild man, Williams.
You got no right interfering with me. I never bothered you. Why don't you just leave me alone?
Williams, you're dangerous, you know that? There's nothing in there but a robot.
He tells them that Oro is back and could be dangerous. We cut to Oro's spacecraft. At least they got some mileage out of that prop they'd built. I was sad to see that Oro didn't bring Idana, his lovely assistant.
Devin, I'm very gratified.
Oro.
Rachel, Garth, how are you?
We are well, and you?
My metabolic functions are at peak efficiency.
You got back to Exar, all right?
Yes. When there's time, I'll tell you about my adventures. It'll make an interesting reminiscence for me and a tale of wonder for you.
How is Idana?
She's doing well, receiving treatment on Exar.
Hey. What am I, some kind of a button on a computer? I mean, ain't anybody gonna introduce us?
Oro, this is Williams.
Hi.
Williams.
Hi. This is really a great pleasure for me, you know. I mean, I never met an alien before. Look, I just gotta get inside there, you know, inside your spaceship.
I'm sorry, Williams. That is not permitted. Come.
Oro, you still haven't answered my question. Why did you come back?
Why, Devin? To help you save the Ark.
We cut to a scene of the group walking down a corridor. This scene is cut into small snippets to make the corridor appear much longer than it is. But in two of those shots, there was enough time to show a rather lengthy set, close to 40 feet, or about 12 meters by my estimation.
But I promise you, the Ark will soon orbit the planet Exar.
Orbit Exar? You know enough about the Ark systems to accomplish that?
I know a great deal, Devin. On the journey back here, I used my time well. I tapped your information banks and immersed myself in both Ark scientific data and Earth culture. It had quite a humanizing effect on me.
But what about your plan for the Ark?
My assistant will describe the situation. Tau Zeta.
All Ark systems are normal, automated, self-monitored, self-corrected. Only propulsion and navigation ever require human control.
And the rest?
The computer banks hold all necessary information. All that needs to be done is to retrieve the relevant data, reprogram the computers, and restart the controlled thermonuclear propulsion system.
There you have it. Everything is there, just waiting for us. Well, will you help me to help you?
This is it, Devin. Everything we've been working for.
Devin, is something the matter?
I'm just not sure yet.
Well, I think it's terrific. At last we'll be able to get off this stinking Ark ship and onto a real planet. Listen, Oro, you're my kind of guy, you know. Well, I wanted to talk to you about this scavenging that you've been doing. You know, I got a whole mess of stuff stashed.
Oro, something I don't understand.
Please.
You've taken control of the Ark. Who gave you your authority?
I learned the code from the information banks I fed it to Tau Zeta. But don't misunderstand me, my friend. Everything that I do is for the good of all of you.
Act 2 picks up where we'd left off at the end of Act 1. Essentially, Devin doesn't believe Oro.
Oro, you told us all about the philosophy of your world. I know that every decision you make is done for self-interest, so don't try to pretend that you returned all the way back from Exar to help us.
Our pragmatic philosophy does not rule out kindness for kindness' sake. Your own religious tradition speaks of casting bread upon the waters.
You'll want something in return.
I want nothing.
Even if Oro's lying, I say let him fix the propulsion system, then overpower him and get the Ark back on course. Devin asks Tau Zeta, but the robot says it's not programmed for such responses.
That information is unavailable.
Why?
I am not programmed to know why.
Garth looks at it from the same point of view as I do. Why would Oro come back if he wasn't there to help them?
And you really think that Oro is our best chance?
Who cares, as long as it means we get out of here?
Williams is just jazzed to get out of the Ark.
What is this compulsion you have to get out of wherever it is that you happen to be?
Hey, watch it, fella. I don't have to answer them kinds of questions, you know. I don't have to stand for no people answering me no questions like that.
At first, when he was bleeped, I thought that whoever posted this video was trying to be funny. You know, kind of like those unnecessary censorship videos that occasionally crop up. But what had actually happened was just a silly way of them demonstrating that the robot was censoring and bleeping Williams' language in real time.
What was that noise?
Moderation of language is essential in proximity of robot.
Demolition Man did it much better, fining John Spartan every time he swore. Then he just used the citations as toilet paper when he couldn't figure out the 3 seashells. Now that's funny. Oro figured they'd be happy to get his help, but he doesn't want to stay where he's not wanted.
No, wait.
Oro, Devon does not make all decisions for us.
Oh, really? Devon supposes that Exar could be a hostile environment. So Oro has the robot play a travelogue. Did I hear a film projector noise in the background?
Well, do we have an agreement?
I'd like to go to Exar.
It makes sense to me.
Devon, what do you say?
No, I think there's something wrong.
I'm saddened by your decision, Devon. Think of what it might have meant.
What do you mean, what it might have meant?
It would be wrong of me to take you back to Exar without unanimous consent. I'm sorry. Forgive me for raising your hopes.
Rachel? Garth? Surely you understand. Do you understand?
Me? Yeah. I understand. I understand you just blew the one chance we had of getting off of this stinking Ark.
Williams tells off the robot, and we cut to Oro in his spacecraft.
Explorer craft calling Exar Control. Ark subjects uncooperative. Will assume Plan B.
Plan B. That sounds rather ominous. Back to Devon. He's getting an earful from Rachel.
Oro? Where are you?
We cut to Williams checking out Oro's ship. Will he get locked in like Rachel did last time?
Oro? Where are you, Oro?
Maybe he'll take off and strand Oro on the Ark. We cut back to Devon.
So that's what Exar looks like.
Exar? No. Location doesn't check.
Well, then what are we looking at?
Historical footage. Planet Earth.
Uh-oh.
He lied to us.
That's Earth footage. I thought it looked familiar. With its harsh, cold, and dark environment, it turns out that survival on Exar would be rather difficult for us Earthlings.
Report. Earth ship Ark. Thermonuclear reactors.
Oro is attempting to do something with the reactors. Meanwhile, Williams communicates with Devon, asking where Oro is.
Hey! Devon? Devon, where's Oro?
Devon doesn't know, so he asks the robot.
Where is he?
In the controlled thermonuclear reactor bunker.
After a tight push on Devon's puzzled face, we cut to Oro in the reactor bunker. He asks the computer what force is required for fire-up. James Barron responds 6.6 gigawatts.
State force required for fire-up.
6.6 gigawatts.
6.6 gigawatts? 6.6 gigawatts? Where are they going to get 6.6 gigawatts?
5.1 gigawatts available on immediate call.
Source for remaining power.
Reserve nuclear reactors may be used.
Meanwhile, Devon is on his way to find Oro.
I take it, Devon, you haven't resolved your doubts.
You lied to me. The pictures you showed me were not of Exar. They were from the Ark's memory banks. Historical pictures of Earth.
Of course they were. I hadn't any pictures of Exar with me. I only used them to inform you.
Now you're starting up the CTRs. You're going to take us to Exar whether we want to go or not.
Yes.
So, even with their advanced tech, the Ark is superior. Interesting.
Seizing the Ark is an act of piracy.
Seizing a drifting vessel in the high seas, as it were, is not piracy. It's salvage.
Then Oro makes up something about Rachel being in an accident. It's a good thing his spacesuit is flame resistant, because otherwise his pants would be on fire. Of course, Devon falls for it, and he runs off to find Rachel. In Act 3, Williams is back at the Master Control Iris in another attempt to open it.
They won't keep me out this time.
This time, he's successful. As he complains to Tau Zeta about how he's been treated, he spies another door. It's the second officer's stateroom. His obsession with going through doorways where he's not allowed gets the best of him.
Listen, I gotta get in there.
Where is she?
Tau Zeta tells him that Rachel's in bounce tube A23, and then the iris closes, trapping Devon in the master control room. He notices that other iris and inquires about it. The iris opens for him, and he and Williams enter that stateroom. Then the iris closes again, trapping both of them.
Tau Zeta! Open this door!
Devon admits that he could stand being locked in, but not with Williams.
Well, I got news for you, Dev baby. Nobody keeps Williams locked up for long.
Meanwhile, Garth and Rachel are on their way to see Oro in the CTR bunkers. They're excited to be going to Exar.
I've reprogrammed the computers, and the controlled thermonuclear reactors are almost ready for firing. I trust you're both ready for the journey to Exar.
Back in the second officer's stateroom, Williams gets exhausted and discouraged while he's trying to open the iris. Then Devon discovers a ventilation shaft.
What's this?
Hey.
Unauthorized entry into service passages. Unauthorized entry into service passages.
Well, they didn't know before, they know now.
Oro returns to his spacecraft to communicate with Exar for course and vectoring information.
Exar control. Exar control. Explorer craft, our signal now for vectoring. Repeat, our signal now for vectoring.
Back to Devon and Williams. They're climbing into that serviceway. Oro appears to be on his way to intercept them. Williams attempts to kick the screen off another vent. This might have been a good place to end the act, keeping us guessing about Williams' fate. But we see a bad blue screen shot of him on a platform or scaffold. Devon leaves him hanging there with a broken foot while he heads off to the CTR bunkers.
Rachel! You're all right.
Of course I am. Why?
Because Oro tried to make me believe that you'd had an accident.
He did?
Where's Williams?
In the service shaft, he fell.
He sends Garth after Williams while he waits in the bunker for Oro. He explains that what Oro told them was a lie.
But why would he do that?
Because all Oro wants is this Ark. His people couldn't care less about us. I'm sorry, but I've got to do this.
Stop! As commander of the Ark, and for the good of the lives of the rest of the inhabitants, I decree your execution, Devon.
In Act 4, Oro is resolved to carrying out his sentence of execution. He aims his weapon, and with Devon and Rachel standing arm in arm, will she end up as collateral damage?
Goodbye, Devon.
Attention, CTR bunker. Attention, CTR bunker. There is no weapons firing in the proximity of the thermonuclear reactors.
They'll let Tau Zeta decide the course of action. They decide to debate the issue.
And the loser pays a penalty. His life.
Wait!
We do a quick check-in with Garth, who's helping Williams. Then we're back in the master control room, and Tau Zeta sets the rules for the debate.
This will be an open debate, point and counterpoint.
When I saw what looked like lecterns in the background, I thought that's where they'd be standing. But they were positioned under two recycling tubes surrounded by force fields. Interesting. The loser is to be disintegrated. Yikes! So I guess this will be the end of Oro, because Keir Delay has a contract. Walter Koenig is a mere special guest star. They debate the issues, and Oro takes the lead early on. Oro says that the only way out of their dilemma is his way. But he could fix their reactors and set them back on their original course, couldn't he? Devon's score is getting so close. Oro wants to quit. He announces the debate is over, and he announces himself as the winner. Then Devon gives a rousing speech, and his force field disappears, to which Oro complains that the computers were biased.
We admit bias. We were made by people of Devon's kind.
Devon orders that Oro's force field be canceled. After some back and forth with Tau Zeta, Devon gets his way, of course, and the force field goes off. Oro doesn't understand why Devon stayed his execution, but he agrees that allowing him to return to Exar in his spaceship is probably the best solution. So he heads off to his ship. Meanwhile, Williams says his goodbyes too. I still think he might be trying to steal Oro's ship.
I am reporting mission failure.
You will remain on board Ark and complete your mission.
They set his craft to self-destruct, giving Oro only 10 seconds to get out. Well, that didn't go as planned. We started out thinking he was there to help, but it was all a grand scheme to steal the Ark. So now what? Will we see Oro again? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. There are only 3 more episodes to go in the series, so make sure to tune in again next time as we encounter Farthing's Comet in another reminiscence of The Starlost.